once again, and welcome to another review. I'm finally doing a review for the month of November. I mean, December. We're in December. We're in the first full week of December now. I think the 6th or the 7th. Hold on. It's uh it's the 7th, yeah. Now I'm reviewing a Christmas movie from on HBO Max that came out back in November on the 24th. It's a fun American Christmas comedy called surprisingly good too. 8-Bit Christmas. Yeah, a movie based on a story of that Neil Patrick Harris. He stars as the lead, but it's his story when he was a kid and he was looking for a Nintendo. Yes, the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System back in the 80s. So it's basically like an episode of the Goldbergs, but with from a different perspective. And yeah, I lived through this, so I know I could relate to wanting an NES because I had an NES when I was a kid. So it was directed by Michael Dowse, and the screenplay was done by Kevin Jabokowski, based on his novel of the same name. And yeah, this movie it's got favorable reviews from critics because it's actually good. It's not just a 90-minute toy, commercial for the NES. It's 97 minutes long. The premise is excellent. See, it's set in the late 80s, I think 1986 or 87. A young boy named Jake Doyle plans to get a Nintendo Entertainment System before everyone else does. And this is back in the day where you could not get a game system online. Nowadays, you can download an NES game on the Switch or on your phone or whatever. But nowadays, back then, you had to go to the store to buy an NES or a Game Boy or a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo 64, the PlayStation. Yeah, yeah, back then it was a lot harder. So nowadays people have nothing to complain about, like saying, "Oh, these games suck now." Well, back in the day, not only was it hard to find games, these games are really hard on the NES. I know. I have years of experience. Yeah, Winslow Fegley, he plays the young Jake Doyle. He's really good in the film. I think he carries the film really well. June Diane Raphael plays Jake's mother, and she plays both versions, the 1988 version. 88, I was 3, and the present day, so she just wears a wig. Steve Zahn is his father. Yeah, in the movie there's a nice sweet story between Jake and his father, which is really heartfelt and sincere. It feels really earned. uh you have Bella Luna Resnick as Lily Doyle's Jake's sister. She's cute. You have Shay Tafari as Mikey Trotter, one of Jake's friends. Yeah, one of his friends is fat. You have a bunch of other kids in the movie. You have David Cross as a dealer who sells him a Cabbage Patch Kid because that was a big toy back in the 80s as well. Uh, and the product placement in this movie didn't bother me because it's the same makers of the producers of Elf, which I love Elf. And yeah, its heart is in the right place. They filmed it in Toronto, Canada, because the mall they go to is the same mall from Shazam, so I recognized it. And I love. There's a lot of scenes that made me laugh. Like there's this camp where they go to where they have prizes for these kids. One of the prizes is a globe, and the black kid takes the globe. He doesn't say anything, and he tosses it in the trash. I was laughing my ass off. And there's also a scene where this kid he's like the neighborhood rich kid, and he has every Nintendo game, and he has the power glove, and he has the zapper, and he invites a bunch of kids over to his house. And there's one scene where he does this freaking scissors kick from Mortal Kombat onto the TV. He gets hurt, and you don't see him for the rest of the It's hilarious, man, because he does a karate kick on the TV. This is when we had CRTVs, those big bulky TVs in the 80s, and you don't see him again. They say he got injured because of Nintendo, and you never see him again. It's hilarious. That would have been like if Lucas and the Wizard from the 80s as well, like got an injury and then you never see him again. No, he shows up, he's at the very end and then he leaves. So at least we saw his exit. This kid, we don't see him again. So it's hilarious, man. And yeah, the movie's a lot of fun. RogerEbert.com gave it a 1.5. They're calling it a innocent but tedious Yuletide time killer that's all about wanting a Nintendo. Again, that's what the premise is. I know Roger Ebert's no longer with us, but again, that's exactly what the movie's about. A kid wanting a Nintendo. I can relate. Let me show you. I'm still here, guys. Don't worry, I haven't left yet. But I want to show you I still got my Nintendo. Well, this is This is the emulated version. Hold on. I still got my Nintendo. You see? That's the NES Classic, the one that came out in the 2010s. I loved this thing as a kid. I played a lot of these games when I was a kid. The footage they showed of games like Rampage and Super Mario Brothers. Hell, the NES talks in the movie. I'm not kidding. I'm not bullshitting you. When the kid goes to the mall and tries to look for Nintendo, the Nintendo's the tray that opens up where you put the cartridges in starts talking to him, and he's like, "No, no, Nintendo, you're not you're gonna ruin my life. This is your fault." It's weird, but the movie's funny, man. It's a lot of fun. Josh, I would recommend you watch this movie. If you have I know you don't have HBO Max, but you could stream this on BFlix, and it's very cute. The kids are good actors. There's some toilet humor that could have been cut out, but it's a kids movie. A lot of those movies have that. But there's a scene also that he does buy a Nintendo because he sells a bunch of like wreaths or whatever, and he goes to the mall and gets the Nintendo and he buys it, and then he drops it on the in the street and it gets destroyed. That was hard to watch because it's like my childhood got ran over by a car, and I'm like, but yeah, he learns a lesson that yeah, sometimes when you get a game system, don't carry with you. Either get it shipped to your house or put it in a cart or in the back of a car. You don't want to carry it with you, especially when the PS4 came out a few years ago, or the PS5. Yeah, when I got my Switch, I didn't drop it. I kept it, safe for the past year. So, and Nintendo's been a huge part of my life. So, doing a movie all based on the NES, the Americanized version of the Famicom in Japan, hey, it was a big part of me growing up. It's thanks to that system that I was not a drug addict. I never joined a gang. I never smoked. I never drank. Yeah, I stood out of trouble thanks to the NES. So the movie kind of resonated with me as a gamer for over 30 years. Yeah, it's a big part of who I am. And as a Christmas movie, it works really well. It's not perfect. Neil Patrick Harris, I don't buy him as a father because you know why. But yeah, I'm not gonna go there. But it's a fun movie. If you've never seen it, watch it on HBO Max if you have it. If you can't, if it's not on HBO Max, there's other ways you can watch it. It's worth your time. It's very cute. I hope they release this physically on Blu-ray or DVD because it's very very fun. And as a rabid gamer that wanted this system when I was a kid, I still got my copy of the NES Classic, which I still play to this day. I've kept this safe for the past 3.5 years. It's worth it. It's worth your time, and it's got a lot of heart and spirit. And like the Loud House Christmas movie, it does have its fans. And sometimes you gotta just ignore critics because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. When I review Spider-Man next week, you'll know. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care. I'm sorry I took this long to do a video. Just I was very tired. I did a lot of work in November and in early December, and but I'm here and I'm here to stay. So see you guys next time. Bye.